Yeah, big freaking shop. I better stop this before I get copyrighted. Whoa, you hush. So this thing is massive. It's 12 foot from the bottom of that post right there to the top of that post right there. And then it's got, you know, that little bit extra on the feet it sets on. So it's more like 13 feet. It's probably, I bet you it's 14 feet to that point right there. I bet you that's 14 feet. It's tall. It's real tall. So yeah, putting a loft in this thing from them two posts back, the whole back of that is going to be a loft. 7 or 8 foot ceilings, whatever I decide. And then there's going to be eventually going to be like a catwalk, loft type deal, whatever, all the way down to the side here. It's kind of going to be a U shaped all the way, you know, from that door over all the way, then the whole back half or whatever, then from here over. You know, so I'm going to have a loft pretty much all the way around the top with a nice big area back there, and then above the door I'm going to put some shelving, and of course I'm, you know, reinforcing everything. But it's going to be awesome whenever I get the money to buy lumber to build it. So I pushed the T-bucket in here, pushed the S10 in here. Well, I drove the S10 in here, I didn't push it. I did in fact push the T-bucket out of the old garage into here, but I drove that one. That's ready to go racing. It has been, and now I can't race because I don't have, you know, full interior and factory style dash, and you know, I've broken their stupid rules again. So, and plus you got to weigh 3,000 pounds or over, and I've chopped about 100 pounds off the nose of this thing, and I've probably took every bit of 250 pounds total out of it, on top of some other things I did. And it's got the new axle in it with a full spool and 513 gear, and it's like it's going to rip this time around, but no, I can't put it in any, it just doesn't qualify for any class. It's just kind of like the Mutt oddball truck that's faster than it should be, but ain't fast enough to do what I want it to do. I'm really hoping to break into the 6s with it. I've been stuck at the 8, you know, I was stuck in the 8-second range for like a year battling transmission problems, and then the second year, 3 transmissions later, or 3 trannies later, still battling transmission problems. I finally got a turbo 350 that my buddy Joshua gave me with an unknown stall converter. It stalls to the moon, and boy, she rips now. But you know, couldn't get it to hook, put those tires on it, finally got it to hook enough, leaving the hole to where I got it, you know, nice number. And it ran 7s all that day. I had it out with a new tranny. So one time out with a new transmission, it consistently ran 7s. I don't remember, I might have had it out twice since then. I think just once, but I don't really know. Maybe one of them was the no prep race or something, and it was raining, so I'm not really sure how many times I've had it out. All I know is now it's got a bunch more parts, a bunch less weight, and it's more awesome now, and I got more spare parts. So it should be faster, but it's lighter, more power, less gear, or more gear, however you want to put it. It's 513s, it was 410s. Before that it was 308s. Smaller pulley on the blower, bigger pulley on the bottom of the blower. So I mean, it's making more boost, more power, you know, different rear axle. Everything's working for me right now on this truck. It's ready to go, but I just can't seem to find the time to. Well, I can't fit in any classes racing, and then every testing tune we've had got rained out. Like 3 testing tunes in a row has been rained out at one track. The one in Terre Haute I've been rained out, I think, twice now, and they ain't gonna let me run this in Terre Haute, just even if it is testing tune. I already know better. No dry shaft loop, no harness, no parachute, no safety. This is pretty much for going fast. So I'm getting irritated, and now I got a new shop, so I ain't gonna really start on anything yet because I don't have any power out here. I do got an extension cord running my stereo, or just a small stereo for in here for right now. But as soon as I get some lights in here, That engine is going in that thing, and I'm gonna just start driving that thing because it's awesome. So this will probably get the 302 in it with probably an overdrive transmission, and I'll try it with that axle, with the overdrive transmission, with the 302 since it likes RPMs, and maybe I can drive it down the highway, maybe not. Honestly, what I've been kind of seeing myself doing with this truck is here lately, been having some vehicle trouble. The only thing I got to drive is the old ton truck. Everything else is broken down, well, except for that, and I just can't drive this because it's too awesome and cops don't like it. So I've been kind of thinking bone stock 305, stock bore, stock stroke, very, very mild, like economical cam. You know, port the heads a little bit, open them up, some small chamber heads to wake it up a little bit, but very mild setup, very gas mileage related build. Like, I'm thinking about building a small engine that is super easy on gas, put the overdrive tranny back in it, probably take that out and put that 308 gear in it that I got that's right there, because I won't need nothing fancy with a little bitty 305. I'm thinking about making this a driver door. I got a hood for it that would cover up the hole in the hood. I got a new hood. I got a bunch of parts for it, doors, glass, Lexan windshield if I wanted to go that route. I got a whole bunch of parts for this thing. And also got a whole bunch of parts for that Sonoma. I thought about doing kind of the same thing with it. You know, daily driver it, but see, I need that thing for work. But what that thing is not good for is going to the store, driving out of town, stuff like that. And my van is, I don't know what the hell's wrong with it. Sometimes it'll fire up, run great. Sometimes it will not start for nothing. It'll backfire and spit and sputter and carry on. And then the Tahoe, my wife's Tahoe, started doing the same thing, and it stranded us the other night, and it won't run anymore. It's like doing the same thing the van's doing. I'm like, that's awful funny. They're parked next to each other, both doing the same thing at the same time. So I don't know what's going on with those, but they're both down and they're computerized, and I hate computers because I don't have any software, hardware, or anything to connect to anything like that to do that stuff. Obviously, if you know me, I like my carburetors and I like my HEI ignition and things that's easy to work on and simple and cost effective. No, let's work on a bunch of fuel injected crap. You need a computer to figure out what's wrong with it, which it ain't even flashing the code. Like check engine light's not even on. Yeah, I don't know. So I've got to figure out something to drive daily. This is obviously going to be the toy. So I like this thing. My grandpa likes riding around this thing. So that's the main reason I'm fixing that, because I want to go cruise around with my grandpa. And that'd be really cool having that engine in it. You know, obviously swap the pulleys on the blower and tame it down a little bit, you know, back it off a hair so it's drivable. I mean, it's still going to be too much for it, but it'd be, you know, it'd be cool. I could drive it around town. And it'd look cool on there too because of the blower and the bug catcher. Bug catcher don't do anything for performance. Getting tongue-tied, but yeah, it sure does look cool. So yeah, probably going to work on wiring, and I got to figure out wiring and some lights, and start getting the toolboxes put where I want them, get a workbench going on, and there's plenty of room in here. I shouldn't have a problem with room in here. Like I got the T-bucket over there, this thing's over here, plenty of room over here. I could probably fit another truck over here if I tried, but I like freedom to move around and do stuff like, you know, work on stuff. Also, concrete is a little rough on the elbows. I got my grandpa's creeper and my wife's dad's creeper that passed, and I was being a smart ass. I was like, oh, I got concrete now, I can use a creeper. And whee, the kid in me came out. And wee, all the way across this garage about 5 times until I caught a zip tie and it spun me out and it rolled off and skinned my elbow and my knee up. It was like, oh, it's like being a kid again. And I couldn't get up for like 2 minutes. I was laughing so damn hard. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the concrete. just driving a vehicle across this or turning the wheels on the vehicle makes black marks on it. Like this is not burnouts and stuff that I've been doing. That's just from where I drove the vehicles around on it. So everybody was, like these slicks right here, look at the marks some slicks are making, and that's definitely not spinning the tires on pushing that thing, So everybody was complaining and kind of freaking out. Well, not really complaining, but everybody was kind of freaking out a little bit that I did a couple hole shots on this thing. You can see them less than you can see all the marks I'm making pushing this thing around in here. And really it's going to get a floor coating on it if I can keep off it long enough. But right now it's looking like it ain't going to get a floor coating on it because I can't keep off of it. I should have just did the floor coating today, went and found a pressure washer somewhere, pressure washed it out, let it dry and do the floor coating before I started putting stuff in there. But to be honest, I really ain't got much of a choice. That engine is going to get rent. All my tools are getting rent. I'll show you what I've been dealing with. It's kind of one of them things I had to start moving stuff in there. Howdy. Random person walking. So I had to start moving stuff in there because this fucker's leaking. And my whole shop floor in here has been flooded so many times that it's just kind of soggy feeling, and it's all that white stuff is mold. So this is all gotta go. Like the roof's leaking, it keeps flooding up from the bottom, and this place is just, you can kind of look at it and tell everything's just wet. Just kind of really crappy in here. So this side of the shop's actually way better than that side of the shop. That in there is just all completely rent. And everything that's in there is getting messed up because it's constantly humid, constantly wet. That building over there was built all with used metal. And this building never leaked. The only water this building ever got into it was right there at the front where the hole was cut, because obviously, got to walk through there. And it would come from the floor up, it would come from underneath. And here recently it's getting to where tarp's getting old and it's starting to seep through to where it drips a whole bunch and things are starting to get wet. And it's blowing all the flaps open. Everything's kind of getting dry rotted. All these little bungee things are getting dry rotted and stretching out. And it's all just kind of starting to fall apart. So this in here is going pretty quick. Like it's to the point where if a good stick hits it, it's going right through the roof and all my stuff's going to be wet. So, and this in here, all my stuff's already wet. So it's like all these camshafts up here. Got a pile of camshafts up there I need to get moved, and a bunch of lifters and some valve springs and a whole bunch of engine parts over there I need to deal with. It's dark in here right now because everything's unhooked. The people that installed this garage needed power. And I told somebody I'd give them an explanation on why I didn't do, water lines in the floor or put in floor drains or a bunch of stuff like that. Thing is, I bought a carport kit, and it was, you had to make the down payment on it. Obviously, I did that, and they said, yeah, 4 to 6 weeks, no problem. I was like, yeah, it gives me plenty of time to do concrete. A couple days later, they're like, yeah, your building will be there in 2 weeks. Are you ready to install it? I'm like, huh? What the heck? Okay, sure, let's do it. So I did all this rock, all the concrete forms and everything, got all that done in a week, poured concrete. The week after that, building didn't show up. The next time that they said it was going to show up, it didn't show up. And then so on and so on. It was like 3 times it didn't show up. And they just kept giving me a bunch of different excuses. All the change management, or the person that does the bull crap in Indiana, went from 4 days a week to 2, and just excuse after excuse after excuse. And I was getting fed up with it. And I was like, look, you're telling me it's going to show up the 19th or the 26th. I don't even remember what day it was now. I'd have to look on the computer. It's been too long. But they said it's going to show up, and I was like, if it don't show up, that's it. And it didn't. And they said it was going to be the end of May. And I was like, you know what? Give me all my money back right now. Give me a refund. Like, obviously you guys don't want my money, so just give me the little bit that I gave you back. I'd like to say thanks to my grandpa too, if he's watching, for the Don Garl, it's Shirley Muldowney autographed picture. That's awesome. First picture in the garage. So anyway, I got a full refund. Called these people out of Terre Haute, and All Steel Carports is the company that did this. And well, 3 weeks it's been. 3 weeks, here's my shop. Painless. Like, yeah, sure, give us money and we'll bring you a shop. And it, boom, shop. They started at 7 o'clock this morning. They was done before noon. Like done. Like open the garage door and shut it a few times, make sure you're happy with it, check out everything, you know, make sure we put all the screws and everything. I was like, dude, I was watching you the whole time you guys was doing it. And they didn't miss a single screw anywhere. Every piece of metal's got the right amount of screws in exactly the right spot. They didn't so much as miss the metal one time. And you know, they didn't miss nothing. They got dead on, straight centered. I mean, I tell you, these old boys, you know, there's only one of them that really spoke English, but I tell you what, man, they do some good work. The only thing that really bugs the crap out of me, and I'll show you here, it's embarrassing. Like, see that one piece of metal up there? Every other piece of metal in this whole garage is gray, except for that one piece, and it's white. Now, you know, it's the same as all the other pieces. Why couldn't they have just put that piece of metal in the middle? You know, put that one piece of white metal right down the middle and it wouldn't have bugged me at all. But no, put it just offset to one side. Now it's just like the OCD in me's constantly screaming every time I look up. Not that big a deal, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, you know, if you happen to get one of these buildings and, you know, start watching when they put the metal up, make sure it's all the same color. Also, another thing that did irritate me a little bit, like I didn't want any windows in this place, and I got a window in my door. The paperwork even said right there in the paperwork, solid door, and I got a window. So yeah, so that ain't gonna work for me. It's probably gonna get, I'll either put a curtain over here, or I'll black it out, or I'll tint it, and I'm gonna bolt some bars up or do something to make it to where, put up some expanded metal across it or something to where if you break this, you can't reach in and unlock the door. And I am probably going to add a deadbolt to that and do different style of locks on the big garage door, because I don't trust that skimpy bull crap. I'm talking about that stuff right there, that little cute little sliding lock. Yeah, that's, I don't think it's hardened steel or anything fancy. It's not going to secure my building to the degree that I'd like it to be secured. So I got to work on locking this place up a little better, and I got to wire it, and I got to insulate it, and I got a whole bunch of work to do. I'm not going racing anytime soon, so I got a little bit of free time, I guess. As aggravating as that is, like I really want to go to the track just one more time. Yeah, not going to happen though, I guess. So I'm going to start pulling the engine out and sticking the T-bucket. Maybe I'll try to take that to the track just to see what they say. Pull up in there with that 427 on that thing with a blower on it. Yeah, that would be cool, and I bet you they wouldn't let me race it. Guaranteed. I don't care how many safety hoops you put around that son of a bitch. They ain't gonna let me run that down the track. Alright, there's a long, boring video about a whole bunch of different stuff, I reckon. So, yeah, awesome. Got to save up and get some money for wood and build a loft and start getting it to where it don't just immediately fill up with stuff, because it's already filling up with toolboxes and stuff, and I ain't even begun. Like, there's so much stuff in that other building that I got to get out, and a whole bunch of parts and stuff need to be way up there on the shelf or something, you know, not down here taking up my floor space. Kid in me wants to rig up a bunch of lights out here and start pulling that engine out tonight and stick it in the T-bucket. I might have to, I really need some lighting out here, because I'm not going to be able to just go to sleep or go inside when it's dark. I want to be out in my shop for a little while and, you know, enjoy my shop for a little while. So it's very echoey in here. I cannot wait to insulate this place. And also, I've noticed just with a little bit of sun hitting this metal, this color that I picked, it's not hot now, but let me tell you, it was hot earlier. And it's not even that warm out today. I picked a pewter gray with white trim and a white roof. so it reflect the heat. And you can't really see it all on the camera because it's a big building, but 24 by 30 by 12. So yeah, there's a new shop. Let's see what kind of trouble I can cause in this thing.